Hello, Davey.
Hello, Peter. Is that? Yeah, it's Peter.
Yeah, it's me. Yeah. Why? Did you get the present I sent you in for Shetland?
Yes, it's still here. It's not stopped for about an hour and a half.
Did you know? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen out there. Thanks very much for joining us. Lovely to see so many folk joining us already.
Yes, yes.
There's been landslides in Shetland today. Imagine that. Eh?
There is also
There's
also been sightings of a humpback whale in the Tay. Oh no, it was Ali Meek trying out his new wetsuit.
I saw that as well, and I thought that is one vicious looking whale. That
big ginger whale.
a ginger humpback. Anyway. Sorry, Ali. There we go. Evening, Derek. Evening, David. They're down in Berwick.
Evening, Doris. Evening,
there's lots of people joining us there.
That's famous.
You can always rely on the tangents. Listen, thanks so much for joining us. We have got a wonderful show for you tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We have got Ace Accordionist from Carlisle. Now, I think this will be the first English woman we have had accordionist on the show. We have had an English man on, that was Robert Whitehead, but I don't think we've ever had an English woman playing accordion for us. So that's going to be a great story. So you're going to really enjoy that. That's Julie Best for Carlisle. And in the second half of the show, we have in the borders of Scotland, down in Jedburgh, we've got Iain Fraser, the fiddle player, the acclaimed fiddle player, joining us. So it's
is that the better looking Fraser brother?
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, the good looking one. Yeah.
The good looking one. Yeah.
So, so I'm fair looking forward tonight. It's going to be really, really good. We're going to have lots of nice accordion music, lots of nice fiddle music, and Julie's repertoire is slightly different. It's not all Scottish stuff, so I'm really looking forward to that, actually, because it's nice to hear different stuff played in the accordion as well. So,
speaking of different stuff being played on instruments,
yes.
As many folk are aware, the Basel Tattoo in Switzerland has just finished. Yesterday.
Do you say Basel or do you say Bal?
Right. So there's a big bit of water in between that runs through the city called the Rhine. Depending on which side of the Rhine you're on, it's either Basel, which is the German side, or Bâle, which is the French side.
Well done. See, I knew you would know the answer to that because you were at that tattoo and played at it, weren't you?
5 times, 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 times, yeah.
I have been there many, many years ago and played at a pipe band competition, but I played at a concert with a folk band at night or something in a big square, in the main square in a big tent or something. Because, interestingly, we found out when we had Stuart Sampson on the show, your pal Stuart.
Yes.
The piper, who has a lot to do with organising that one.
He's the director.
I'd actually met him when I was there 25 years ago or something. He was there with the Gordons, I think, was it?
It would be the Gordons, yeah.
Yeah. So, very interesting. So, Bal, where are we going with
Basel? So, I'd like to play you a bit of music from the Basel Tattoo 2022. This is the opening set from the pipes and drums. So the pipes and drums play a few times throughout the whole kind of tattoo. Same as with Edinburgh, they play a few times to game. That's what folk go to see. It doesn't matter how many dancing horses you have; they're there to see the pipes and drums.
Yeah, okay.
Pardon me. So,
what about horses that play the pipes? That would be good.
So this is from the press night, which is the Thursday night. So you'll see little photographers running about like headless chickens, trying not to get ran over. So this is the opening set before they go into the formation. This year's formation was from the number 15, because it's the 15th anniversary of the Basel Tattoo.
That makes sense.
Yes, I did it when it was number 5. That was my first time there. It was 10 years ago, if you do the math. So have a listen. Here we go.
Good. Well, it looks pretty darned impressive, that, doesn't it?
It does that, yeah. It's that was the Thursday night. I think it was the Tuesday during the day. It was 48 degrees centigrade.
Pretty sick.
For those of you that are tuning in from out with Scotland, where most of the cast are Scottish or of Scottish descent, 48 degrees means we burn.
Yeah.
And melt, yeah. And then they put on feather bonnets and £80 a wool. But yeah, so it was rather warm, I believe.
After 2 or 3 days at that temperature, we would go white. We'd go from pale blue to white colour.
No, you could no. Actually, don't go pale blue to red.
Anyway, right. So
there's a question. By the looks of that, I believe. 2 seconds. I'll just go and check the answer to that. 2 seconds. On that basis, there was how many bands? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 11 bands of 110 pipers, 110, maybe slightly more than that, pipers, drummers. So it'll be about 160, 170 pipers and drummers, I think.
Magic. And I've noticed on social media as well, our old pal of the show, Tony Rees, out in South Africa, they're there.
Tony's there. Yeah, Tony's out there, yeah.
Yeah, they're there. I noticed they've been there playing. Quite a few of the South Africans out playing at that one. So, and Stuart Sampson, of course, wonderful. And
they've also got the Red Hot Chili Pipers playing this year as part of the tattoo.
And there was Jenny Glossop saying hello there from, and Jenny's in South Africa as well.
There we go. And then
so
Patricia.
Good to see you. Listen, folks, please remember to share for us. Hit the share button and share us all over the world and a few other places as well. We're going out on 3 Facebook pages tonight. We're live on YouTube and we're live on Twitter. So if you want to watch it on the big screen on YouTube or that, just look for Tartan Tunes on YouTube.
To be fair, the big screen is the only way you'll fit both me and Peter on one screen.
Well, certainly me, yeah. But that's that. So, listen, our first guest, I'm really pleased to have this lady on. I've heard about this lady all my life. I was actually born about 60 miles north and brought up about 60 miles north of where she is now in Carlisle. Where I lived, I was brought up in Crawford John, which is about 65 miles north, and between Glasgow and Carlisle and M74. And my mum's still there, actually. My dad was a gamekeeper in that area. But so it's going to be great to bring on Julie Best all the way from Carlisle. So let's say hello.
Hello, Julie.
How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. Just very nervous.
Oh no, don't be.
Don't be.
Yeah. If you've got a cat or a dog, let it be nervous for you. That's always my advice. You know, no cats or dogs. Just don't worry. We're nice to people. We're not that kind of rubbishy people. So it's good. Julie, wonderful to have you on. As I said earlier, there, I've always heard about you playing. I was brought up more in the vein of playing a lot of traditional Scottish stuff because I was kind of north of the border. You were brought up in the competition world and all that as well, playing accordion south. But were you always in Carlisle? Is that where you were brought up then?
Yes. Yeah, I lived in Carlisle all my life. My parents weren't from here, but circumstances, they settled here.
Okay.
And, so my first teacher that I went to wasn't too classical. He was more dance band.
Okay.
I only went to him for a couple of years.
Right.
And then, Dad found another teacher for me, a lady that is very close, and she still plays now, and she took me for a couple of years. And then past my grade 5, that's when I went to the Ronmar School of Music, and that's when Robinson taught us a lot of classical, amongst other things. Yeah, classical.
So taking a step back the way first, what attracted you to accordion then? What made you want to play accordion?
It was Dad's choice.
And you must have been a real good daughter that you just agreed with him and went there.
as soon as I started playing, it just seemed to open up all these doors for me. You know, I was just used to get invited to play at places.
Brilliant. Yeah, great.
Yeah.
So you were what, 7-year-old?
Yeah, I was 7-year-old, just after my 7th birthday. So I had a very small 24 bass accordion, I think it was, to start with.
Fantastic, though. It's amazing when we had Raymond Chuk on recently, and Raymond's over in Spain now, and he's just managed to acquire his very first accordion. Somebody had it, and he's managed to get it back.
Yeah.
And he's all chuffed with himself. And it's funny, though, when we think of the accordions and the instruments we've had through the years, and you know, it's really nice to think they're still out there. And I remember the book, The Accordion Crimes one, and it followed the story of the accordion. It'd be great, the stories instruments could tell us, wouldn't it? It would be great.
Was that Accordion Crimes like you're playing, or is that just like people stealing accordions?
My playing, yeah. It probably was my playing. Well, that was fantastic. So you obviously had the support of your family, though, right through, and your dad supporting you there. And I think that's an absolutely incredible thing to have. And still to this day, I mean, I teach in schools now all over Shetland. And we know that if parents are supportive, that makes so much difference as well. It really makes things a lot easier. Because it's not the easiest instrument to lug about or anything when you're wee, so you're really reliant on people to help you and things like that.
Aye, but it's not a double bass.
No, it's not a double bass. But see, when I'm getting to my age, I'm reliant on Andy and the fiddle carrying my one about again now because I'm at it. But that's it. Listen, we're going to have a wee track, Julie. We are going to start away. We don't need to say too much about this because you do a wee introduction to this video actually when we play it. But we're going to start away with Blaze Away. But tell us about Blaze Away and the significance of that tune to you.
Well, this was one of the tunes that my dad always pestered me to play, and I wouldn't learn it. And this argument went on for years and years, actually, and it just became a bit of a family joke, you see. And
right.
I ended up with about 3 or 4 different arrangements of this piece and couldn't get away with any of them. And then I mixed and matched what I had and did eventually learn it. But my argument with my dad was I didn't want to learn it because nobody would know the tune.
Right.
Okay. Not only does everybody know it, but it got adopted with the festivals that they hold in England.
Mm-hmm.
There was a chap, Charlie Watkins.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yep.
Well, it was his favourite piece. So every festival, Charlie started to play Blaze Away, you see.
Well, I don't know. Have you ever been to Shetland yet?
No, not yet.
Well, if you ever make it to Shetland and play Blaze Away, you're going to be extremely popular because it's been adopted up here as well. Because as you can imagine, they have the Uphellia fire festivals every year, where they burn a Viking galley and things. And the tune they always play is Blaze Away because it's on fire, you see. So you're made for coming to Shetland already with this tune, you see. So your dad was speaking a lot of sense here. This gets you gigs, this tune.
Here we go.
Here we are.
Right, I've come to the last one. And this is a piece of music that my dad gave to me many, many years ago, and I hated it. I wouldn't play it. We had endless arguments about it, loads of disagreements. I said, Dad, I'm not playing it. And one day he said to me, I don't understand why you won't play it. I said, Dad, nobody will know it. I have since realised my mistake. Because no matter who I play it to, however old they are, they all know it. And there's various different words to it as well. So here we go, it's a march called Blaze Away.
Fantastic. Great stuff. Interesting though, Julie, when you mentioned Charlie Watkins as well. Charlie was an incredible guy because he played accordion and he had all his inventions along the way, but he was incredibly well known for PA equipment and all that as well. And the Watkins the copycat thing was an absolute. Every band in the country had a copycat thing at one point to give them reverb, and that was Charlie that came up with all that stuff. And he came up with all the big PA rigs that the rock bands used and everything. He was an incredible guy.
The outside system, didn't he? The outdoor.
Yeah, amazing. Amazing what he came up with. So when you started to say there, you went to another teacher, you kind of got into a bit more classical side of things.
Yeah, it was Ron Hodson in Carlisle that had the Ron Marr School of Music. Yeah. And Ron's thing was classical, and of course he had the orchestras as well. So, I went to play in the orchestra.
Did you enjoy that?
Well, it was just amazing.
Yeah.
There was 2 or 3 different lineups because depending what grade you were, depending what your knowledge was, there was different bands for you to play in the early days, and then obviously towards the end we just ended up with the one concert orchestra. We actually went to Austria to compete at Innsbruck in one of the international festivals, which was something else. We played Tchaikovsky's Capriccio Italienne.
See, it's fantastic to hear this, and we never heard as much of the accordion orchestra really in Scotland. I mean, there was people like Gary Blair had, and his father had Jimmy had the orchestra, and then Alistair Gillespie and Bigger had the orchestra as well, and Keith Dixon had orchestra. So they did start to come in, but when I was young, there wasn't that much orchestra work going about. Because it's a phenomenal sound when you hear everybody playing together. It's just huge. It's just. So when Ron done all that stuff, would he do a lot of the arrangements for that stuff himself then?
Not originally. He did latterly. Once he'd retired from his full-time job and he had more time, he did a lot of arranging afterwards.
Right.
Up until then, we just used to use. We would get hold of arrangements. Yeah.
Sending messages on here, Davey, and saying they're fair enjoying this tonight already. So that's fantastic. So anybody, if you have got anything that you want to send in or say, please do so. That would be great. I think I've maybe lost you guys a little bit.
No, still here.
Oh, I think it's Peter that's frozen now. Oh,
he's probably been on that TikTok too often.
I've frozen.
Yeah, we had some fabulous arrangements for water music, and we did Orpheus in the Underworld, the William Tell, and things like that. We had quite a lot of marches because, of course, marches on the accordion are just, the best, really.
We mentioned. Sorry, carry on.
Last numbers we had Alla James last, and there was a morning at 7 is another good accordion band number. Yeah. Yeah,
we mentioned the other week that the pipe tune, "The Green Hills of Tyrol." It's from the William Tell Overture. So that's what they first heard. That was the World War One. There was a military band playing that in Tuscany. What we're going to do, Julie, we're going to play a track called Trish Trash. You want to tell us a bit about that while Peter's trying to figure out how internet works?
Well, we always used to play this in the orchestra, and when the orchestra disbanded, I thought I must learn this as a solo because, of course, it's always the last tune that's played on the concert from Vienna on New Year's Day. So I just absolutely love it. So it's taken quite a lot of work, but I've got it going now, and I love playing it. So the Trish Trash polka.
Right, let's have a listen.
Great. Fantastic. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I've jumped onto the phone to get everything sorted out here, but I seem to be covering the phone now. Why am I doing that?
Because you've got big hands.
I've got two big hands. There we go. Super. There we are. The joys of the internet. Julie, that was fantastic. There's Harry Hinchcliffe. Nice to see Harry. There we go. All these people joining you you've not seen for a long time. Did you always play, I mean, classical, did you play dance band stuff and things as well then, or did you?
Yeah, yes, I've played in a dance band before. I played for a few years, long time ago.
Right.
Yeah.
So what kind of stuff were you playing in the dance band then? Was that like?
Foxtrots, quick steps, waltzes. Yeah.
That kind of style. And was that mostly around about the Carlisle area then? Or?
Yeah, around the Carlisle area.
Yeah.
When we used to have a lot more pubs and venues to play.
Yeah, no, it's been a bit strange, hasn't it, over the last couple of years? It's really kind of slowed us down a lot. And I think there was a lot of venues disappearing anyway, and the last couple of years hasn't really helped the cause too much. But so accordion clubs in England, tell us, there was a big accordion club scene in Scotland. Was there quite a big, because there is a Carlisle accordion club as well, isn't there?
Yeah, we do have a Carlisle Accordion Club. It's affiliated to the Scottish box, the box and fiddle. So we're but there are others in England as well. That clip of Blaze Away was filmed down in North Staffordshire. Another one in Leyland. There's one, I believe, just started up in Shropshire. So yes, there are other accordion clubs around in England. I think there's a track hopefully we're going to play tonight that was recorded at Seg Hill just last week. I played at Seg Hill in Northumberland last week. And the track was recorded there. Yeah. Fantastic.
I am sorry about this. I'm just messing about trying to get back onto my computer here because it's easier to see. There we go. I'll come out of there, David. It's all right.